you never know, right? Like, again, let's remember JT. Well, sorry, Fly picked Mars for the JT into the Ursa, so it's like, well, what are we really looking to do against that? Yeah, exactly the same. Like anything, it's up to now for IG to beat what MagMa did because clearly it worked for them quite well. Every single stage of the game went well for them, but the concern is that now they can reply to it. They know that the laning stage didn't work out anywhere nearly as strong as it should have. They've got the last pick in this phase. They've got the bans, and they've got the last pick in the last phase as well. So IG really should not be in a position to give themselves two losing lanes again. That's going to be the biggest thing that I'm looking out for here.
Are there any heroes then to stand out for you that could play better than what the Mars did?
They couldn't put Clinks off lane, could they?
No, they cannot. I don't think that hero's lane is very good. You're not going to lane Clinks off lane with a line 4.
Aren't you? I guess
you're
two
not.
melee?
You're definitely not.
You can harass him out pretty well. Like, AT can run at you all he wants, but he just gets stunned up and bursts through, at least super early on, before you get items. Like, once he gets 1 or 2 items, then... And I'm talking, like, minor items on the ET, he's so much more survivable. But, I don't know. I feel like they could still bully them out pretty well.
So, we'll see. What do they go for? Sand King. Okay.
It's a lot better. Again, 2 melee. You don't want to run into a Sandstorm. You don't want to run into a Caustic Finale.
You don't, but I have seen some Sand Kings matchups go a bit haywire, especially with an early sentry, which is
10 seconds
they more than likely will have lane control with the sentry, and then how does like Bowstrike does not give you a big range at all, and you could just
you got 2 stuns though.
You do. I'm just more worried in regards to like how much farm is he going to get out of it. Okay, so if are you just on board with this lane is just going to be better than the Mars? Is that like what? Okay, so that's all you're looking for. You're just looking for like not a winning lane, just a decent lane.
Yes,
okay,
I would be totally fine with
them
drawing even. Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is as well for Kaka, like a lot of the times these position 4s, they go like, you know, the 1 set of tangos and a boots of speed. I don't think he can afford to do that because Sand King needs to have a good start so that he can be constantly, you know, pushing out these lanes. We saw how difficult IG had in being able to, you know, take towers to push into Team Magma's side of the map, with TZY even picking up the Maelstrom in response to it to make it even harder on top of that. So I think a lot of Kaka's early starting gold needs to be spent on sentries because A, you're going to need to sentry up creeps, neutral camps, because the Elder Titan, he's just going to be wanting to use the Astral Spirit onto them, plus the heroes and start running at you. So you don't want to make him any stronger than he already is. And you know that they're going to be carrying either sentries or dust, so may as well cover yourself with sentries by having them pre-planted and capable to get that nice D-ward off.
10 seconds.
Are you?
Like, I want to see 2 sentries from Kaka in the lane, like they're minimum.
5 seconds remaining.
Now, how do we feel about MagMa with their potential to play the laner? Because at least this time, what IG have done different is that they haven't showed their position 2. So it's a lot more difficult for MagMa to flex this laner because previously they knew the Void Spirit was going to be in that lane.
Dire team pick.
I still seem to think that this Clinks is just a safe lane, though, and they're going the Rubik instead. So taking that away from, you'd have to say, the Omni Knight, right? It was one of the big issues that you saw with the Ursa last time around, when I was like, well, why don't they just pair it with the Omni? Yep. You know, it's going to be a very strong laner, but MagMa have taken that away.
10 seconds
remaining. And now, I mean,
another stun as well, if they want it.
5 seconds
Yeah, without
remaining.
a doubt. IG need, and they need a lot. They've got ways to start fights, but they have no real front line. I don't know how they can get that as a position 2. Deep.
Well, they don't have a way to start fights. They need to go for pickoffs entirely, or you don't really want MagMa to have time to set up on you, right? With a Clinks just sieging a tower. So, what can they go for? Either someone that like dives in super deep, but the Void Spirit's gone, the Storm Spirit's gone, Ember Spirit's available, but it's not great this game. It's not a Monkey King game either. Pango makes that difficult. I don't know. Feels like they're stumped just as much as I am.
Choose your hero.
Okay.
It pushes lanes. mid laner as well into the Shadow Fiend. So at least you're going to have the raise for the harass and being able to secure right clicks without taking too much harass on your end. But I don't know. I feel like Team MagMa have got a pretty damn good draft again.
Or they're just back into 4 of their 5 heroes that they had in game 1. I mean, IG have a completely new draft as well. So we'll see if this different. You switched it. You're on board with MagMa. Okay, I see. I see what you've done.
Coming into this, I would not have predicted a 2-0 for MagMa. Let's get that straight. You know, it's been a really good showing in game number 1. Obviously, they don't have the busted nature of the TA to have to play around, so they are going to need to get a little bit more active, right? Like Alina still farms quite well, not as good as a TA though it does though, right? So it's going to be a lot more around getting this boots of travel up on dust, making rotations, getting pickoffs. I mean, Shadow Fiend is still very squishy early on, you know, like he's probably going to want to go into a boots of travel for himself. Maybe a Yule Scepter build, or will he rush the BKB? Still yet to be seen. I feel like you kind of need the BKB, right? Like you could use yourself once, but you could still get hit by the Light Strike Array. You could still get hit by the Rolling Thunder, Telekinesis, Echo Stomp. Like so much is going to be able to take out the Shadow Fiend that he needs like a second item BKB.
We'll find out if they've got the answers here for MagMa's lineup.
Prepare for battle.
Do you feel like that's what they were wanting? You know, just a second chance. Sometimes in life, all people are looking for is just a second chance. You know, maybe they felt like they had a potential to beat them in game 1. Unfortunately, that was not the case, and now they've been giving this opportunity to run it back one more time. And you know, do you feel like IG have a way to sneak it through somehow?
They haven't drafted 2 losing lanes. Maybe they've drafted 1. And they had the last pick overall to do it. It depends, again, it's going to come down to individual skill here for Emo against Dust, who again is playing his role in the mid lane, but I feel much more confident about this bottom side. You can see here with Kaka, he's doing exactly what I thought he needed to do. He brought up the 2 sentry wards to start the game. He might even look to body block the hard camp next to him so that he can afford to retain that second sentry ward for the laning stage when the Sand King might be getting gone on super early. Level 2 is when MagMa can look to make that aggressive play.
All eyes on those early level 2s and how aggressive they can get in the lanes, because that was something that I was very, very impressed by from MagMa in game 1 with how they were able to just get off to a very hot and fast start here with kill after kill, and it could be very similar in this second game.
Begins.
But we will just 2 for 2 trade, it looks like, in regards to the bounties. So if there was a lane where IG could come heavily out ahead, or at least out ahead, should we be paying attention to one lane specifically?
I feel like topside's going to go okay. You know, Fly is much more capable of dealing out some harass damage onto TZY and Mian Mian. I don't think it's going to be quite as easy for them. Ollie, he's still in a vulnerable position, right? And well, he's actually gone the Orb of Venom super early on, so they want to be able to get that extra 1 or 2 right clicks in onto a Rubik. So it's going to be hard. I mean, you've got a decent amount of movement speed, 315 on the Omni, but if you can't hit him once, then that Orb of Venom can't really do its work.
We'll just see
here, Kaka, he already got use out of that sentry ward that he had in lane, right? They end up, well, Kaz doing him a solid, getting rid of the camp as well. JT wanting to body block it as well, so not revealing the fact that they've got it sentried up.
Still, these are heroes that can do an immense amount of damage in the lane. Maybe the difficulty of going up against 2 stuns might be the key maker here, the key difference between the game 1 and game 2 draft. But once they're able to find the levels, the big issue is if you can keep the sentry control in this lane. That's always what Sand Kings heavily rely on, and unfortunately for them, when they kind of reposition and lose the creep equilibrium, then they don't have a way to protect their own sentry.
Well, they're in a position to get gone on here again. Level 2 on Kaz as well as Bai, so they could look to make a bit of a move here. They're waiting until a few of these creeps go down so that if he did skill up the Caustic Finale, he's not going to be in a vulnerable position. But JT, smartly enough, he doesn't reveal it just yet. It's always the issue though with the Sandstorm being leveled up super early on, is that the creeps are going to immediately push underneath the tower and you're going to have a lot harder time and things. Kaz, they're going in here. He's able to dish out a ton of damage. You're not really that concerned with Kaz here. You're happy to burn out their regen.
Oh, JT actually went in with a Burrow Strike, and they still have Sentry
on the right
control.
click.
Who's going to win the battle? And it looks like JT will pick up first blood before the casualty is found. And meanwhile, mid lane Dust also getting a big solo kill, however, on Emo's Shadow Fiend.
Is he going to keep this dive going? He's got 2 seconds left on the Earthshock. Not going to be enough, though. He could have got that kill. He had already 4 Fury Swipes stacked up, no mana, and no cooldowns available. So maybe by just feeling like he was missing too many creeps in the laning stage, but at least you got the first blood now on JT. That's the big difference. So he's going to hit his timings a little bit sooner. Can be somewhat more sustainable. Although that Sentry Ward is still bugging him in the lane.
Ursa's got to be pretty careful. He doesn't have ET for a bit. I thought they might try and just chuck out some stuns and bring him down to about half health, because yeah, he doesn't have any regen at the moment.
Look at the size of this creep wave, though, for JT. Like, if I was Kaka, you know, he's level 3. Using the mana drain onto the creep instead of onto the Ursa, I think that's a little bit odd. Obviously wanting to reduce the impact of any sorts of ganks, so
Top lane,
you need to take that away from
TZY.
him.
A hefty dive attempt. Without a stun to cancel the TP, and the Burning Barrage early is not enough from Fly.
32% damage reduction at level 3. OS Frog.
It's crazy stuff. It's bonkers stuff. We've seen consistently now how tanky this hero can feel, and it never felt like that before the patch. But now you can be this beefy man in the laning stage, and even of course as the game continues on as well.
Bit of an error here actually from Kaz. He ended up pulling the creep wave underneath the hard camp, and JT, he's more than happy for that to happen. Right?
Emo might get solo killed again. He's getting absolutely bodied mid, and now Kaka, he's gonna fall too. Okay, never mind. Nice stun. Dust doesn't have enough mana at the moment, but the clarity should tick up the respectable mana pool to find the LSA, and Dust picks up a double. Okay, so
like I said, they drafted 1 losing lane, even though they had the last overall pick. But it's not 2. So I'm giving IG more of a chance this time around, especially considering how relatively well the bottom lane has gone. But, I mean, it's only less than 5 minutes in. Have a look at the net worth charts.
Denied.
Looking pretty strong for all of MagMa's heroes, particularly that mid lane. Already a 900 net worth lead.
My face.
yeah, what it has been a great start to the game here from Team MagMa. Early 1,000 net worth lead, continuing to show their dominance, and more importantly, I was not sure if they would be able to continue with the momentum that they had off the back of their game 1 performance, and if they could kind of replicate that in the lanes. And wow, they've definitely shown they have that capability to do so.
Yeah. It's still going to require some good execution.
Downbot JT, they're fighting on top of the sandstorm. Can they kill the sentry off fast enough, JT? Oh my lord. That was millimeter timing there.
Yeah. The lane is just so much stronger though, right? ET can't have just a total free game. They're at least getting turnaround kills. This time around it was Kaka getting it, but you know, again, more and more of this assist gold coming through, just rushing straight for that blink dagger.
Good
They
lane
know that they
again.
need to try and...
Emo, it's in trouble, but at least he has the help of Ollie to give him that bonus health, and Dust just not going to tick out as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Gonna guard the runes here. It's gonna be bot side as well, actually, but Kaka is in place. Let's
Dust?
take it out.
Dust? I mean, this was the big X factor for MagMa in their close qualifiers, with how well Dust was able to perform on a consistent basis, and he's got 5 kills, and this is now back-to-back games he has outperformed Emo mid.
There's a reason I switched the background to IG, away from IG to the MagMa pools. Not sure exactly where that was. Flyfly's getting dived here as well, and he's gonna probably
This is
go
a
down.
big kill
Dust
if they can
getting
get Dust, and they will. Emo really wants this, and making sure they give it over as well. 405 gold. Meanwhile, still Flyfly dying in the top side of the map, so there was... When they're trying to win out on the trade, you still see like MagMa at least are getting something across the map.
one of the few times that Ollie has the freedom to, you know, well, not even the freedom, like he leaves the lane, he immediately causes the death on Fly. At least they get the turnaround, like you said, it's the streak, so it's going to go a big way to bringing Shadowfeed back into this. What was a 900 net worth lead is closed to 400, which is great, and they were able to start getting some stacks up in the jungle as well on Ollie, so it's going better.
So looking to try and pounce on forward still. When do you feel like these lanes are going to start to be dissolved? I mean, we're about to hit that 8-minute mark. Is there any lane that the rotation will come through first?
I mean, I honestly think this is going to be a pretty prolonged laning stage, right? No amazing tower takers on any team, so it's less about the dissolving, it's more about just the rotation, particularly from the position 4s for mine, and, well, IGs are a bit weaker.
JT, and a whole world of pain here.
Nice stun.
Luckily enough, he's got the backup of Kaka to find a beautiful 2-man split earth, and JT still just makes it away.
Just gets on out. Possess Mask in the base. No one's picked it up just yet. Sure, Fly could make good use out of that with his trusty Falcon Blade.
This is the lane that I haven't been paying as much attention to. Of course, I mean, there's been numerous kills occurring bot and mid, so we haven't really had the time, but looks like at the moment Fly just a little bit behind TZY in regards to the net worth, but they've again given this Pangoli, who's been making play after play for them, a really good start to the lane. And are you worried by that?
Well, they're making another play going in onto the top side. Do they have Dust available? Yes, they do. Dust is able to clean up the kill with the Dust, and that's Omni Knight going down as well.
Wow. I'm
so maybe now the lanes can dissolve.
Yeah.
The tower's going down, top side.
I mean, MagMa have just turned it up a notch today. This is not the team that we've been seeing previously.
Would you say they turned up the heat?
Oh my god. Scorching hot level? What level would you add it to?
Volcanic, probably.
That's pretty high. I don't know if you could get higher than that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's there.
JT's still having an okay time though. His farm doesn't show it, but he's getting the levels and he's got the Blink Dagger, which they're going to need to make these aggressive movements. Again, if they can catch out Dust before he's able to get more of these saving items for himself in the Yule Scepter and the BKB, that's going to be huge. It's just about locking down this Lina for now, because she's still going to be the playmaker in the early stages.
So the only issue with him rushing this Blink is the fact that he's got 1 point in Burrow Strike. So it's not going to, like, his skill build hasn't lined up perfectly with his itemization as well.
Alright, how attentive were MagMa? Because they have a sentry ward right there. He made sure to keep his courier off to the side while he was finishing that creep wave. The Blink Dagger was on it. But if they saw that came out, they could look to set up a bit more defensively around where they're making this push into the mid lane with their siege creep.
They're aware. It happened in game 1. I think you said it was 11 minutes in game 1. This time it's 10 minutes 30. And Invictus Gaming Scan was able to find that pinpoint position of how MagMa were looking to sneak Roshan, and they instantly answered with a smoke of their own as JT reveals the Blink straight on Dust. They'll have the burst followed up thanks to Karkar's ultimate, but the big issue is that they used a lot of their abilities just to kill off the Lina, so maybe MagMa can turn it back around in a favorable trade. It's all going to be off the back of TZY's Rolling Thunder, but the extra assistance is just not there at the moment.
Dire's structures are fortified.
This is so much better for IG though. You know, they're grouping up together, they're making maximum usage out of that first Blink Dagger, that Blink Dagger reveal, getting the kill onto the mid laner, and they didn't even use the epicenter for it. So they still have the kill potential. Of course, with the Burrow Strike just at level 1, the range is so short that you need this perfect kind of engagement to make it happen. And Mian was able to steal the Sandstorm, so he's able to keep the lane pushed out as well.
Beautiful.
Nice little bonus for them.
There are some really, really stellar abilities here for Rubik to steal. Like, honestly, with everyone, you'd be pretty happy with whatever you get.
Basically, only the Clinks is like when you're like, meh, it's kind of meh.
Yeah.
But if you're able to take Skeleton Walk, not sure how you do it, but that's still pretty value. Maybe after the Dust, quickly take it.
Or if he's running into a sentryed area, snag that up, go sentry yourself, and then, go invis yourself, and then dip out. It was cute plays, and Mian has been really solid so far through this series. His game 1 performance on the Lina. He's got 5 assists at the moment as well, and this is a hero
They're
that
looking
can
to try and get by. Up topsy, they got vision of him farming into this camp. Again, epicenter is available, but it's the daytime, and JT kind of just walks into it, despite the fact that Kaka TP'd all the way towards this top side to try and make a kill happen. So,
Radiant's
bit of a
bottom
wasted
tower
movement there
is
for
under
IG.
attack.
Meanwhile, Flies, they're going to be able to catch him out, TZY. The cores are not exempt from buying these support items, as with the dust enables them to lock him in through the invis, but meanwhile, Kaz, he's also going to get caught to the opposite side of the map. That was an epicenter used there from JT to bring down this pesky Elder Titan.
It's just Kaz though, you know, like it's not that impactful. I think maybe they were thinking when Kaka TP'd towards the top side that he would have the Finger of Death, and you know that might have been enough to be able to take out the Ursa, but that kind of rotation ends up costing you the clinks. You don't get anything in exchange for it, and yeah, MagMa continue to pull ahead. And now I think their game plan is a little bit different. The laning stage didn't go as dominantly as it did for them in game 1, so it meant that they weren't able to go for that super early Roche. I think, did you say it was 11 minutes? I felt like it was sooner. I felt like it was about 9, maybe 10, but now they at least need to force a pick off before they go into it. With the Diffusal Blade only 200 gold away on buy, so he's going to look to pick that one up first, and then look to make the rotation through with the rest of his team. 50 gold away now.
At least for IG, that Emo didn't have the greatest start to the laning stage, but he does have his first item completed in the Shadow Blade, and he's keeping up there in net worth. This is quite often what we see on the Shadow Fiends, with how you can be quite the flash farming hero. I'm intrigued to see on how his itemization is going to continue to flow through on this Shadow Fiend, because we don't see this hero as often.
And I mean, you talk about their ability to scale and flash farm. Now you've got the Maelstrom as well onto the Clink, so their fighting potential is so much greater. With the Shadow Blade on Emo, it's incredible. I wonder if he'll wait until he's level 12 before he goes for the kill attempts, but honestly, the damage difference isn't enormous.
JT and Kaka gonna try and get queued up here and find a pick off here with the heavy amount of burst, but they're well aware of this as Kaz scout them out. There's no hide in the trees, although maybe if you continue to the northern side, the only issue is that this Astral not gonna hunt.
This might not be too bad though. They both TP to the mid lane. Smoke's at the ready with Kaka. They've got all of their key items available now on IG's side. They might look to treat Emo as bait a little bit. No, he's just going to pop the Shadow Blade.
Ursa.
And they get the chain stun.
They need it perfectly here. If he gets the enrage off, it might be fast enough for the rotations to back him up, but it's not. They stole the Finger of Death? Wow, Mian. We were just highlighting the potential spell abilities that he could take away, and I'll tell you what, the Finger of Death is not a bad one on the list.
No, for sure. But, I mean, just look at how much better Fly's game is. Like, he's overall a little bit less on the net worth charts when compared to the Troll Warlord. Of course, he went the Battle Fury that time around, so you're going to have the ability to farm a lot quicker, but the amount of map pressure that you're able to put on with the Clinks is just far and away ahead of what the Troll can. You can be putting yourself into this bot lane, force a few more defensive rotations out of MagMa, and then you've still got that Skeleton Walk to be able to get away. It's cost him his life a couple of times, but in terms of what it does for the rest of your team, and particularly Emo's game, it's huge.
And it does feel like it's now going to enable Fly to get a lot more farm that will be uncontested as top lane. JT, bye, my good sir. Yeah, like last game, Troll was having to farm very much on his side of the map, but now like it feels like the Clinks can get a lot more farm anywhere, because Radiance, their catch potential on the outskirts of the map is not the
Radiant's
easiest.
top tower is under attack.
Yeah, just constantly shoving it in. They've got good vision as well. Look at these observer wards inside the Radiant jungle. They have complete understanding of where all of these heroes are. That Sentry ward is just not clipping the dire one to the south side of the cliff inside the Radiant jungle. So yeah, good amount of information being provided for Fly right now, and he's making the most of it. Even that Boots of Travel on Dust isn't going to be enough to keep it shoved out. Yeah, you can see he's TPing mid. Maybe they're looking to make an aggressive play here on MagMa, because they still do have the Ursa, right? You want to make the most of your Roche potential before some of these key items start to come out on IG, most notably the BKBs. But It's going to be a lot rougher now. They're still going to go for that pick off first. If they can catch JT, that'd be good, but he's pretty quick on the trigger finger with his blink.
JT, he's still
quick
going to get
enough.
caught out. I thought they would be aware of this. I mean, Fly pinged that no one was defending bot. There was just a full creep wave that was hitting the tier 2 tower, and often enough, this is enough of like a information, like intel for you to gain to know where they're positioning. Like if no one's defending bot, then they have to be making a move across the map, and well, now they can just get the Aegis after killing off the Sand King, and a bit unfortunate there.
And finding another. Kaka, see you later.
Might give them an opportunity now to deward the area as well, which will make it just a little bit more unsafe here for Fly.
Still parks himself down there against 3 different heroes. They get the dust off onto him as well as the chase is going to go down. No blink dagger yet for TZY, so I don't know if they're going to be able to catch him just yet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Just a drive-by. Place the ward down. Now you can keep scouting him. Did they? Okay, so yeah, they do still see Fly nearby. Tabbling up at the top river here. Oh, Shadow Fiend jumped. I don't think Dust has got the damage without the help of the Ursa at the moment. They're going to try and target down Ollie. This is a pretty big pick off to find. JT just misses on the Burrow Strike as well. Now it enables MagMa to turn back and kill Emo. Fly finally looking to get involved away from the bottom side of the map. A heavy commitment to try and deal with the first life on the Ursa, but now do they have enough left in the tank for round 2? Is JT charging up the epicenter. He's going to try and move in forward. This time, he finds a big Burrow Strike onto 2 heroes. It's not the miss like we saw previously. That's a big way to try and bring them back into this second game.
Still ends up costing Emo's life, but, you know, it sounds a little condescending, but it's not as bad. You know, game 1 was just so bad because of how the laning stage was, how IG drafted themselves into a corner, but this time around I feel like they're playing it so much better. Making much more rotations, playing aggressively on the map. Fly's playing a more selfless game. Not that he was selfish last time, you kind of need to when you're playing the Troll Warlord, but he's playing his role to perfection as this clinks in my eyes.
Dude, this ability is nuts. Every time I see it, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is crazy. Mid lane. Dust isn't able to join them at the moment. Rubik saw the Burrow Strike, but gonna put him in more dangerous position for himself here as they're charging up the Rolling Thunder, locking onto JT at the moment. Yours will provide him some assistance, but as soon as he falls back down, they've got the instant answer in the stun lock.
And Dust got the solo kill as well. Cause, take note, carry Dust if you're going to play this style where you need to kill the Clinks and you have the capability to do so. Of course, it's going to be not quite as possible once he picks up the BKB very shortly, but if you're able to just keep putting him on the sidelines...
Emo? Oh, this is a cute play. They were baiting the rune down bottom. That was awesome. Emo was well aware of this before they saw the Lina getting involved.
Nicely done.
Those are the small plays to bring yourself back in a game like this. It's those little things. Now they have a catapult wave, and the rest of Radiant kind of dispersed further apart from this T1 tower mid, so they will not get nearby again to defend it. The presence also affecting buildings enables Emo to take that down with ease.
That's good though. Fly, he gets the extra gold from the tower being taken. He finally starts to play a little bit more selfishly with taking this ancient stack, which you can of course now do as the Clinks, and that's going to be enough for him to get that BKB for himself. So that even if he parks himself on this bottom side of the map, it's fine, because you're going to be able to have that survivability to get away from the Lina setup unless you get full combo.
They're looking to smoke up now, Radiant. Bearing this movement as well, either team looking to try and infiltrate to the triangle, but no one's home. So maybe they can kind of set up their banner, drop some wards down, make this their home, as yeah, Ursa's like, yeah, this is time I'm not farming, so I'm gonna just hit some neutrals.
They do the same though on Fly. Takes that away from them. They're at least going to get an objective though, or attempt it on IG's side. So just little things going more and more in their favor because of how they've been playing. It's just going to be harder and harder to take him down. Even getting the Brigand's Blade as well, so a ton more damage that Fly is able to dish out in quick succession. fresh depth pact available, and they just want to keep pushing forward. You don't want to allow this Lina to just do whatever she wants, keep lanes pushed out on her own. If you're going to make that commitment to defend, if she does it on her own, she's going to be in big trouble. Yeah, multi-person rotation coming through there.
Firefly's looking to scout them out. Got multiple ways to start the fight, but in fact it's Emo again! Just bursted down without any assistance, now off behind the tier 2 tower, JT. I mean, it's quite the ambitious TP out as TZY already was charging up in the Rolling Thunder. Dust has already killed another hero off to the side, but they're hunting Firefly. Detection is out. The Dust is about to expire. Is there another round of it available? And yes, there is. Dust himself providing it, but he's still so mobile. Swashbuckle up in a couple seconds. He'll get the Echo Slow plus the Shield Crash to further mitigate any escape potential as MagMa, as soon as Invictus Gaming were slowly starting to crawl their way back into the second game, they hit back.
It's one of those times where luck and just a little bit slow courier movement actually ends up costing them. They had the Aether Lens completed on Ollie, but the recipe was still coming on the courier, so he hadn't disassembled his arcane boots in time. They didn't have the keen optic. They didn't have actually, you don't get the psychic headband at tier 2 neutrals. Never mind that, but still, just that tiny little bit extra might have been able to get off the Heavenly Grace, might have been able to get off the heal onto Emo, and then if that happens, 4 heroes don't die.
It's always the millisecond timings on things, and definitely a game of inches, and once it can get to that stage, a fight can just snowball out of control, as Invictus Gaming have shown signs to bring themselves back in this game, but now a 3,000 net worth lead for MagMa. What are we feeling like the next timing is going to be for the side of Radiant? Because they've already been looking really strong. What's going to make them even more stronger?
You just saw the alert come out there. Bias finished up his BKB. Roche is up in a minute and a half potentially, so smoke immediately coming out. They don't have any idea that it could be happening right now on IG, although they are grouped together quite nicely
Radiant's bottom tower
as the
is
rotation
under
looks to
attack.
come. Dust has to be careful though. You can't just walk up into
JT.
JT like this unless you get the full pick. Then you can do it. And they don't even reveal the smoke yet, so they can look to keep going. Oh no, Emo, not again. Ollie's in good position though. He's up breaking the smoke for his team.
As long as the Shadow Fiend gets out to safety, it just, you do give away Heavenly Grace though, which is always something that's
a no good.
Yeah, that's a no good. Like, usually I'd be like, okay, support, you get the life, but this, I cannot harp on it enough. Like, this is an incredible ability for Radiant to now have their hands on.
Dire's
I mean,
bottom
you get the
tower
extra
is under
cast
attack.
range
Dire's
from
bottom
the
tower
Arcane
has
Supremacy. You've got the Aether Lens, so you're going to have a lot more defensive capabilities, and hell, just toss it on the Ursa first, whip him in the back, and then he can chase down basically everyone on Dire's side of the map with his BKB.
fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Screw the Ursa,
Dire's
just
bottom
amplified
tower is
Dust.
under attack.
I'm still
Dire's
mind blown they
structures
didn't
are fortified.
ban the Lina. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a 4, a 2. Like, we've been seeing every other team put so much priority on getting rid of the Lina, because if it's available,
Dire's
any
bottom
Chinese team will
tower
pick
is
it up in the
under
first
attack.
phase.
Radiant's top tower is
Sure,
under attack.
I feel like you're
Radiant
you're
are
somewhat more
scanning.
capable, like you know what Alina
Dire's
does,
bottom
right?
tower
Whereas
has
for
fallen.
them, the Pango is just such a specialty pick, right? I feel like you have to take that away from TZY.
Ursa up top,
well.
they're setting on him. He might see his tooltip, recognizing they're
There's the
nearby,
Heavenly
but it's not
Grace.
fast enough. The Heavenly Grace, not going to give him the status resistance. Now they'll turn to try and killing off the Rubik as well as Invictus Gaming. Back and forth. You take a team fight victory, then they'll take a team fight victory.
Radiant's top
Okay,
tower has
little things
fallen.
going their way, and they finish up the Skadi now as well on Emo, so that's going to be really effective against the Lina, of course. More effective against ranged heroes. Longish Rose spawn, so not everything working out in their favor. That double damage will certainly help things, though.
Emo's gonna bottle
Yes.
that bad boy up, is looking for another jump. And goes
Got
the
Chrysalis on
target.
Fly.
Kaka, perfect use of the chain control as well, and there's no opportunity for an escape there, as they're just swinging this kill after kill after kill. Now it looks like IG is. They can transition this into a tier 2 tower.
No glyph either. Another 20 seconds or so until it's available. Presence of the Dark Lord. You got Fly's insane damage. Yeah, things are looking more and more up for IG.
And do you feel like this
It's going to
game
be the next
is...
Roche fight. That's the decider, right?
So you if Radiant miss out on this Roshan, do you feel like that now puts them in a very difficult position to get firm control as Sand King? Starting on him once again. See, either team have this immense amount of single target burst potential, but they're still looking to take the fight. They'll rip apart the Rubik and now charging up the Requiem as well, but the Fear is out. There's the chain control again. But it's just a back and forth we're seeing.
Still no Roche though. IG are praying that it's going to be up, but still another 40 or so seconds away. Rubik's going to be back alive. And, well, they even get the Psychic Headband available, so you like the increased range that you had before. You ain't seen nothing yet with Rubik picking it up. Have that in combination with the Aether Lens and the Arcane Supremacy to help his team. Just I mean, you talk about the difference there, right? Ursa, he had the Heavenly Grace popped onto him with the Rubik on that top fight. If he has the Shard, he could use the Earth Shock, get the Enrage off, and then potentially live in that fight. But instead, they were able to burst him down in quick succession.
Oh, Dust. They saw him with their ward by the river. Emo's going to continue stalking him as well, so he recognizes he's running straight to JT. We'll try and pop a BKB in any attempt to hold his life. But the one more right click coming from afar as it's JT that'll pick up the kill. 682 gold for the Sand King.
Good recognition by JT as well, looking to use that Yule Scepter first before the setup, making sure he's breaking that Lincoln Sphere.
That's the gem. It's a really, really big pickup on Firefly, and now TZY and Rubik converging on the positioning on the Clinks right now, but Firefly, he still has his protection. So TZY... Dude, this ability is... Oh, do we say broken? I don't know. That's a word I try not to use as much, but like... It's kind of nutty.
Feels a little broken. And, well, that's Roche. Finally, respawns, and it's going to be still with a decent time for IG because of how well they've been able to take these last few fights. Now, who we wanted to see get the Shard? Necromastery, I don't like it when it's paired together with the Shadow Blade just because the crits tend to overlap, but overall you get fewer of them. He's still going to pick it up though. He's going for it, realizing the importance of taking these heroes down quickly with these crits coming through. I suppose it guarantees the crit, which is always nice.
And now you've got a big arsenal, a big extra life capability here on Emo, who you can just buff up the Shadow Fiend with the Heavenly Grace. What level is he right now? Level 21, 2700 health that you have to go through, and this is not including the amplification from the Omni Knight.
I mean, the big difference for me is that MagMa just have not taken a like 5-on-5 team fight or even like 3-on-3, 4-on-4 for what feels like about 10 minutes. And everything is swung in IG's favor because, again, their pick-off potential is pretty good. Solid stun, Figure of Death. Sure, you got the Laguna Blade and the stun from the Rubik on the other side of the map, but when you think about the relative strength of things like the Rolling Thunder and what Alina wants to do in just sitting back and right-click, it's, you know, not quite as effective as, well, they're going to make another rotation up towards this top side. Will they be able to find out Dust here as he's continuing to farm? Fly, got to be careful about revealing himself. The Skeleton Dwarf still has a decent duration.
They've really needed the Lion to try and burst through Dust, but not without that capability. Looks like MagMa, the first ones to find the respected hero, and they can get back out to safety.
And he took the Skelly Walk as well on Meow Meow. So he's going to continue to keep this lane pushed out. Only got the range creep, but still.
Guy's still going to stick around the area, though. Triangle.
It's the freedom that you have when you got the gem, right?
Yeah.
You just have complete understanding of what every single bit of vision is like in the region.
It's going to make it really difficult now for MagMa on how they can start these fights and how you get the jump. Losing this gem previously.
JT's been picked off a few times.
JT's going to start, however. TZY has been clutch in these previous games. He's been playing the pain clear, but caught out this time on Emo.
I mean, they were feeling somewhat confident underneath the vision that was just dewarded there by Ollie. You can understand why he might have thought to farm there, but it's always going to be difficult, especially when you don't have that Aegis. But you can't just stay off the map for too long. You have to take these calculated risks, and he thought that he was safe underneath the vision. At least it was only the position 3. Feels like Bai still has the potential to bring them back into this game. Might take a lucky bash through from that basher, but in the meantime, they're just going to push forward with this double damage available. At least they get rid of it with the Yule Scepter.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
How do you jump them from MagMa? You see how easy they're able to siege the higher ground. They're going to make an attempt here, straight on top of the Clinks. They'll end up bursting through Fly, but it looks like they're going to look for a reset on Invictus Gaming, though. Guardian Angel used very early on. But a snatch and grab as they're able to pick up the gem, which back into the rightful hands of the owner.
Yeah, you'll take that. I mean, a kill only costs you a tier 3. They had the Aegis while they were making that push, and they weren't able to take a set of racks, which is pretty significant. And like you mentioned, getting the gem back so important when you're against this Clinks lineup, especially as well the the Shadow Blade and the Sandstorm. So much stuff providing a lot of invis for IG right now. That'll allow them to get back control of their Trican.
Some opportunities now to get these last tier 3 neutral items. Spider for the Ursa if he wants to hold that one at the moment. He can either play with that or the Mindbreaker, but looks like he does opt for the extra positioning and mobility. And how do we feel like this game's going to fare as we continue head to the later stages? Is there a team that you'd kind of give the edge to?
I would probably say IG. You know, the Burning Barrage is so incredibly strong, and he's getting close to picking up that Gleipnir, so it's just a lot more control for the backlines as well. With Alina, who actually she just picked up the Daedalus, so you're going to be scary to be able to man fight into regardless, but you might only be able to get one hit off with the Enchanted Quiver relative to the Clinks if he's able to just lock you in place and then get off that Burning Barrage.
MagMa looking to smoke up, take a fight outside the base here. Need to find these key components of the IG roster. The issue is they've gone the opposite direction as IG, they want to get firm control around the triangle and push through top and mid.
They know that this movement's happening. MagMa making a bit of a mistake there, not pushing out the wave first before they attempted any kind of play. Maybe expecting that they were just standing nearby, but no, IG, they're playing on the top side of the map.
Have either teams got a gem, or is it just Radiant? Oh, sorry, just Dire. Okay, so Mion's got one too.
They lost it, right? They lost the one that Clinks was carrying.
So they must have just bought one.
Yeah.
All ones will break.
Just sit behind your Shadow Fiend. Satanic now completed. It's going to get immensely difficult now to be able to burst him from 4 to 0. They're going to try and make an attempt though. Telekinesis if they can drag him away. I'm saying it's hard to bring him down. Can though? Emo Earth Splitter just enough. The Omni Knight sustained cannot keep him alive through all of the damage that MagMa dish out. So IG still sticking around on JT, looking to try and charge up the epicenter. But he doesn't have an angle into the fight as... Oh man, I was not expecting them to go through him like that.
Yeah, I mean, late stage Elder Titan is always going to be very powerful. One of the big reasons why IG could potentially make a play back into this game, though, is that it was a very good Guardian Angel, actually, that Ollie was able to get off, but just a little bit too late, didn't quite have the range for it. He's building into the Aghanim Scepter, though, so increasing the duration on it, allowing it to be global, so you can stay in extreme safety. No glyph available, though. Level 25 on Dust. Look at that attack range.
See how this high ground defense can come into play here for Invictus Gaming.
The fact that he was able to pick up that attack range means that you got to be like right on the edge of the Burning Barrage in order to actually be able to outzone the Lina. It's only about 150 range, what do you call it? Bit of grace
Jump back
period.
in, fly, Heavenly Grace going to be able to protect him. They were looking to bring down the Clinks. They're not successful, but at least they're still off to kill off JT. But Fly looking to stand his ground with a big heavy pop. He'll target through Ursa, but still the stun lock is not there without JT's assistance. There's a successful retreat. Everyone makes it away.
Nicely done. Not clumping up in the same area. And, well, conversely, they were able to get the full set of racks, so you're going to be very happy on MagMa. It does cost you the gem. Mian is just making these super ballsy aggressive blinks, right? Enabling the rest of the team to set up. First, it was to kill off the Clinks in the mid lane when they were looking to make their high ground siege, and that time around, it gets them the Sand King and a lane of racks. So, might have costed him his life a couple of times now, but it's for a very good exchange, and it's going to become even easier once he picks up that Aeon disc, but it's a long time away.
We just see how difficult it can be though for them to lock onto a target if, say, like Sand King's dying first, or if Karka is dying first on the line. Like, then you are starting to get heavily kited.
Oh, I really like this though on JT. So many times he was the one getting gone on super aggressively, so he built the Aeon Disc. That led to MagMa just changing their target a little bit. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to get a Wind Waker. I have the Blink Dagger. I'm able to put myself in a good position. I can stay under the cover of the Ninja Gear. You go on my Shadow Fiend. You go on my Clinks. I'm just going to reposition him. So once they see that, I wonder if that's going to change. If they'll go into the Nullifier, which, yeah, Bai's already got it queued up.
Ollie as well has got 40...
Oh, the Witchbane. The Witchbane, baby.
Ollie
up on the Lena.
Had 4,300 gold saved up, but he had the Aghanims queued, but now he's gone into the 4-star here. So we'll still have a little bit of gold for buyback potentially with the Omni Knight.
I really want to see Pango holding onto this Witchbane right now. He's going to be the one in the middle of the team fights. He's the one that they're going to try and stop the aggressive push forward with the Guardian Angel, and you're going to be able to get multiple attacks off as well with a Swashbuckle, which deals a ton of damage.
Even Clinks is able to find a Witchbane too. Do you feel like they have a valuable hero that might look to hold this?
Yes, and it's important to be able to get rid of the lucky shot on your important targets as well, but it's nowhere near as impactful as what MagMa are going to get out of theirs.
Scanning.
How often do you get a Spell Prism and you don't know who to give it over to?
Yeah, they're
giving it to the Ursa.
Interesting.
They just want that Perma Enrage up, essentially.
Okay. Down to 6.6 on the Earthshock cooldown.
1.5 second duration, then you got a 5 second duration on your ultimate with a less than 25 second cooldown. Looking pretty good.
I like this. If you know the enemy team's on your side of the map and they know you're on their side of the map, so just go hit some objectives, force them to come back. And that they've done now. They're a little bit split on MagMa. TZY still about to show mid, and Dust is farming up a Storm at the bottom lane. He's got level 25. Went for the attack range. The Clinks as well has hit level 25 with the Death Pact health and damage. Oh, my god, he's got 4,600 health.
Yeah. Don't need to get rid of the Enchantress when it just gets to this late stage of the game. You're still looking pretty damn strong with that level 25 talent, as Kaz, he's putting himself in a little bit of a vulnerable position here. He's got buyback, but nothing like an Aeon Disc to be able to protect himself.
So careful.
They switched. They gave him the Witchbane. They gave TZY the Witchbane. Let's see if he's able to make the first good use out of it.
He's got this status resistance. They'll try on the Shadow Fiend. They don't get the double bounce back. It was too close of a timer of the initial one from TZY. And if they can kite away the Rolling Thunder, this is perfect for Invictus Gaming. TZY is still moving on forward. Crit after crit. He'll get a little bit of distance away, but it means that Emo isn't protecting the rest of the cores as JT looking to jump in. Again, no one's found an ideal target to start the fight. So IG just have to try and put all their attention to kill off the Elder Titan. But the big issue is Emo can still ramp up the damage with a Requiem drop. Kills off the Ursa along with the Rubik.
Just the use of that Ascetics cap in combination together with the Heavenly Grace, he was not stunned at all throughout that entire duration, getting rewarded with a DD, of course, and they're looking to take this third Roche. Heavy buybacks being expended now, 3 of them.
Looking to not let them. So much emphasis on making sure they're able to contest for a Roshan, but they are too late. Now, I mean, the question is, MagMa, can you now stand your ground against the third Roche being picked up on Invictus Gaming? They're going to try and burst through Emo once again, but the perfect position from Oli protects Emo. Now the Satanic giving a respectable amount of health to stand his ground and man fight. They'll deal with the first life. MagMa, can they take enough for the second round here? JT's even going to fall as well, but the Rolling Thunder, look at this long duration. They'll turn to try and deal with Firefly. Force gets him back to save him, but the Shadow Fiend is disconnected away from the area. Emo's going to turn once again on top of the backline, but it doesn't matter. With Firefly down, it's going to buy back, look to join the fray, but MagMa have 5 heroes. They've targeted down Emo as well. And Ultra for Dust, making a rampage. They don't give it to him, but Dust nonetheless. The damage continued to skyrocket up, but they're not done. Clinks caught on the high gun. Maybe this time they can give him the rampage still. He doesn't find it. A dieback on your Clinks though. Further and further, they kite the fight as Kaka looking to hide, but they don't care about the Lion. They care about the objectives and ending the game and potentially taking their second series victory.
Dire's
Base
middle
has already
tower is
pushed
under
2
attack.
minutes left on that glyph.
That's it.
And you've got so much damage. That's going to be it. The GG is called. He doesn't give a shit about the rampage. 42-minute victory, a 2-0 routing of MagMa. Oh my god. What an effective bit of gameplay coming through there. Still didn't use the Witchbane, by the way, but not needing it. Able to kite out all those cooldowns with great effectiveness. And finally, they were able to allow Dust to just sit back and do what Lenas do.
Yeah, I am so shook. What a performance from MagMa. The way they were able to come back into that. I mean, what was the swing like? They had about a 15,000 net worth lead, and all of a sudden, this team fight execution. And MagMa 2-0 Invictus Gaming. And now Ash to Ares, they're sweating a little bit.
They are. I'd say they're sweating a lot. I mean, they don't have any series today. Their series are all tomorrow. But they're going to need to win maybe even both of them, honestly, right? If head-to-heads are taken into account, MagMa got the win against them previously. So to tell as to Ares on their last day, oh, by the way, to stay in the tournament, you need to beat Elephant and RNG.
Ooh.
That's not an easy task to be able to come up against. But as we've seen today in this first series, anything's possible. A 2-0 from MagMa, being able to take out IG with 4 of the same heroes between game 1 and 2. So perhaps a little bit of lack of respect coming through from the drafting of Fly against MagMa. And,
Maybe.
it could even end up costing them an upper bracket spot. I mean, they were sitting at 2 and 3 before this game, and now they're 2 and 4. I don't think they're not at risk of dropping down into that last slot, but still, it's not ideal.
It's not ideal indeed. I mean, at this stage, I don't see how they're able to make it to the upper bracket at all, in fact. So, I mean, MagMa, what a performance. Again, off the back of they had one difference here in their lineup from game 1 to game 2, and it didn't matter. I guess the difference through the whole entire series, though, is that they had a 6-man, and that was Danog himself with the background. I have to wonder now how much power that really gave them.
2 for 2, you know. I don't want to say that I am. Well, I did say I was the Oracle yesterday, and I was correct. So, maybe you could start saying it as well. I'm feeling a little bit underappreciated, so thank you for the mention. And, well, that's not it, though. We saw a team yesterday probably take a loss that they weren't expecting, with Asta Ares 2-1ing Vici Gaming, but they're going to have a chance to bring it back. It's against a tough opponent, though, in our second series of the day, with RNG being their opponents taking them on. RNG, the only team to beat Big Brother, the main Asta roster, in a 2-0 fashion yesterday as well. So that should be an absolute banger to finish it up. But who knows how long we're going to be waiting. It might be 55 minutes until we're going. It might be sooner. We are at the whim of our Chinese overlords.
But luckily enough, we do have one person already in the lobby, and usually that is a good sign that the series might be fast forwarded. So if that's the case, we have, like you said, an incredible series to end the night. Vici Gaming looking for a little bit of retribution from their series yesterday loss against Asta Ares. And, well, for the boys on RNG, they're looking to continue with their momentum and cement their position in the second place for then a chance in the upper bracket. But only time will tell. We'll see you guys next up for our last series of the night.